Sitting here at a family braai, family in the background, having a good time on a Sunday, beautiful autumn day in South Africa. Very interesting round of games, getting close to the playoff matches. Sorry, just a sip. And it's really heating up. Some of the teams will be very disappointed in the results that they got on the weekend. Started well with the Sharks against Benetton. Very, very attractive rugby. Lots of tries. Always felt that the Sharks were going to win it, but we really enjoy the way Benetton plays their rugby. It was a ding-dong game. It was 14-0 early on. 6 tries against 5. Benetton scored in the first minute and in the sixth minute to make it 14-0, and then from there on the Sharks scored. But it was like a try in the 41st minute, try in the 50th minute, try in the 54th minute, try in the 58th minute, try in the 61st minute, and again in the 66th, and again in the 69th. So it was really an amazing advertisement for rugby, and it ended 43-33 for the Sharks. Suppose what you can say is that Benetton is a growing team, really an improving team. And what the other thing that you can say is that Sharks maybe have to work on their defence, and they still have work to do going into what hopefully would be a playoff spot. And then Glasgow Scarlets, I really have to say that I hope the Scarlets are building towards having a better season next season. They're in 14th position, but they're really playing against an informed Glasgow team who beat the Lions in a great game in the Challenge Cup, and they managed to hold Glasgow for a long time in the game, and Glasgow ended winning it at home 12-9. So that was probably a bit of an off day for Glasgow before they go into the playoffs, which they no doubt will reach. But the Scarlets are building towards good things, I think, for next season. And proving to be the top Welsh team at the moment in several competitions. And then Ulster against the Dragons, 40-19. Ulster then moved into second position, which is quite important considering the Stormers game, which I will talk about just now. The Dragons in 15th, so Scarlets ahead of the Dragons as well in that. And Ulster doing very, very well at the back end of the season to what I think they will believe to cement that second position, which is bad for the Stormers because that could mean away games, away semi, and so forth. So there will be ramifications. Bulls against Zebre. Bulls stay in 7th, Zebre stay in the last position. But the Bulls also won their Currie Cup game away at the Sharks with Jake White at the stadium, and I think that the Bulls have pulled up their socks a little bit in winning a few games, winning the Currie Cup games. Obviously, playing the last position team should be easy, but they won it very, very well. Some of the friends also mentioned that if it was a game that they won, say 32-9 or 32-12 or something like that, then you would have thought, that was maybe a little bit too tight, but it was very convincing. They ran away with a victory, which shows the pedigree that they have. I suppose if you're playing against weaker opposition, there's not that much you can read into it, but you want to win it well and you want to build confidence. So that will give them confidence going into Leinster next week. And it will be a weakened Leinster team, as we saw against the Emirates Lions. A tough one. As Marius Lowe said in the post-match, his comment was that they gave it to them on a silver platter. Probably a Leinster BC team. They gave youngster Pendergast, Sam Pendergast, a go, under 20 player, or I think he is 20 years old, and he was man of the match, which also shows the depth of Irish rugby and the depth of Leinster, which is unbelievable. and the depth that they have in the fly-off position. I can't even think of the names. The Ross brothers, Pendergrast, Carberry, who's out at the moment. So many players that can slot in, that have played tests for Ireland in the fly-off position. So they really have good cover. I think if Sexton picks up an injury just before the World Cup, I still think they'll be fine. And at fly-off, it's almost like New Zealand when they had so many injuries and Stephen Donald had to play in the World Cup final. I think they have that scale of depth at the moment, and it's a position that's worrying for the local teams. The depth they have in the fly-off position. Just trying to remember, just trying to check the. Even if you think of Crowley and even Healy, the fly-off that came on for Munster, both of them very good fly-offs. So crazy depth at fly-off. Really, it's quite unbelievable. Not to always sound like we're crediting Irish rugby, but they are doing really well, all the Irish teams. So very disappointing. Leinster winning it right at the end. It was all square on 36 all, and they won a penalty right at the death at the hooter to win it 39-36. But the Lions had them for large parts of the game, and the Lions could have and should have won that game, really. And then Stormers Munster. You got to credit Munster. They played really well, but I think the Stormers are blowing hot and cold at the moment. Key players that they really need to step up, like Marnie Libbok, who made a lot of mistakes, missed a lot of kicks. If he made all these kicks, they would have won the game, and they would have won it fairly comfortably, I feel, if he could kick his penalties. But he definitely missed 3 that I can remember, and possibly one more as well, but definitely missed 9 points. They scored a great try at the end to show what they can do, and they kept on playing with a high intensity, the Stormers, but they just couldn't. They've seemed to have lost that fluency that they had in the beginning of the season, and they've lost their first home game, and they go on the down at a crucial time in the season. And Munster doing really well. They're in 5th. They're peaking at the right time. And like I said, when the fly-off went off, when Crowley went off, Healy came on and he made some very crucial kicks. And that was really the difference, that the substitute fly-half, Healy, made his kicks, and Libbok kept on missing kicks. But they showed a lot of intent, a lot of intensity, but they just couldn't get themselves over the advantage line. They couldn't create that spark to hit the clean gaps, and they kept on doing silly things. Same with Clayton Blommetjies, doing silly things, making silly mistakes. A lot of guys that had a bit of an off game last week and this week, so not great for them. But we need them to fire. We need them to fly the flag for South Africa in order to see if we can get someone into the final in the competition. And then Edinburgh Ospreys, watch that game. Edinburgh played well. They looked really good. They are now in let me just see, they are in 12th position, so they sort of slipped down the log. Ospreys in 13th, so they are currently the top Welsh team, but good win for Edinburgh at home. And then Connacht Cardiff also, Cardiff's actually the top Welsh team, and on 11th. Connacht beat them 38-19, Connacht in 6th. So the Welsh team's looking very good this season, and Cardiff the top Welsh team. But I still feel that the Scarlets are the form team in Wales, but Cardiff will be the top Welsh team. Okay, so 38-19, good win for Connacht. Watched most of that as well. All right, so looking forward to the last round. Looking forward to Bulls Leinster. We'll probably go to the stadium against a weakened Leinster. Hopefully, they can turn it on. They will have to be at their best to beat a weakened Leinster team, a BC team, and that shows the class and depth and that they have. But looking forward to it, looking forward to see who's going to qualify. A lot of things hanging in the balance, and looking forward to seeing that. Thanks, cheers.